Hi, this is Tim of the 1916 Company. Welcome and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me. I am still Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It is still in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any of our platforms. Please reach out to me directly. I am Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. Today we discuss a late 2023 launch for the 2024 model year and a 1,000-piece limited edition in steel. This is the Seiko Prospex Speedtimer SRQ049. Inspired by Speedtimers of the 1970s, this is a modern-day limited edition celebrating 100 years since the first wristwatch signed Seiko, and that was officially the beginning of the Seiko brand. So the watch you see right here is a timepiece that is accessible and yet lifetime serviceable and renewable. And I like to treat all watches, regardless of price, with equal respect and call out their best features, and this watch has a lot of them. While affordably priced, it has an upscale sheen coming from a fully integrated manufacturer that makes everything from its pivot jewels to its shock protection to the very lubricants used in its watches. In steel, 42 millimeters in diameter, 15 millimeters thick from lug tip to lug tip, 49.4 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. Pop open the clasp, throw the watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters in circumference, and it has a lot of presence. I wouldn't call it oversized, but I also wouldn't call it traditionally sized. I would say this is a full-sized men's modern sports complication. On a 16 centimeter circumference wrist, it fits quite nicely, and I would recommend your wrist be my size or larger to wear this well. That said, it is not super thick, though it's also not thin. It'll fit underneath a jacket cuff, if not the tightest of dress sleeves. One element I really like is that from an ergonomic standpoint, the bracelet pulls straight down out of the lugs, so it doesn't have any fight or flare to it. Some bracelets want to do this, and that makes them difficult to wear, whereas this wears true to its lug-to-lug dimension. The bracelet's a lovely piece. It is a design featuring actually 9 links, and there are links of staggered size, alignment, and differential finish. And it has a wonderful fluid sort of feel to it because you can see the cross sections, the primary links are relatively small. You can see on the bottom that it won't trap heat or sweat. And then we have pins and sleeves to fix the removable links in place. So if you want to size this, you're going to need a block and punch to do it, but those are easily obtainable. And what's nice is you have a lot of links. Every single link here is removable, and you do get 2 intermediate sized links. So you're going to have a lot of adjustability and flexibility built in. There was a little bit of a taper down from the integrated end link, which nicely closes the gap to the flank of the case. We have a single fold deployant here. As you can see, thick gauge steel. We have a twin trigger release, so it can't pop open accidentally, and it won't pop open if you just press one trigger. You gotta press both, so very secure, exactly what you want to see. You can see this watch, outstanding condition. It still has its case back packing sticker on it. Made in Japan, though affordably priced. Made the old-fashioned way in the home of Seiko, traditionally, made by a first world factory using first world technology and first world labor, and of course made in Japan, as Marty McFly would tell you. That is where all the best stuff is made. The watch has a complex case shape. Now it's protected by a DiaShield hard coating, so it has several microns of face-hardened steel all the way around, which does an admirable job of resisting scratches and scuffs, and provided you don't dent the watch, does a really nice job of preserving the finish. We have curves, we have angles, we have facets, we have satin, we have polish, we have a bezel that's stepped out somewhat from the case band. You can see it actually has an inverse conical profile on the bottom, then a sort of vertical satin lip that's very narrow, a polished flank, and then a very narrow flat flange abutting a somewhat cambered and boxed sapphire. Vintage style unsigned crown with pump style pushers, 100 meters water resistant. It has a push down crown, but it's still swimmable water resistance. We have a tachymeter, which can be used along with the chronograph to gauge the speed of an object, generally one moving very quickly unless you're good with mental decimal points. The idea here being that you will start your chrono when your race car, begins its kilometer. And when the car, or perhaps airplane at the Reno Air Races, reaches the end of the kilometer, then you stop the chrono, you look at the number on the tack, 300 kilometers per hour. That's how fast it's going. A lovely two-tone dial. You can actually see a third tone in the orange varnished chronograph seconds hand. So we have silver. We have sort of silver white with a gray, more anthracite than black or pure gray. We have a matching color date disc, which I always appreciate, sunken and tone-on-tone sub-registers. The watch does feature a hacking or stop seconds function. It also features a quick set so you can rapidly cycle the date. And as with all Seiko chronographs since the original in 1969, I should say all Seiko automatic chronographs since the one in 1969, note that the seconds hand starts without any jump or stagger. Despite the affordable price of admission on this watch, it uses an upscale vertical clutch coupling, which has no extraneous motion, and because there is no additional wear and tear when it's engaged, you can just leave it running full time if you like your chronograph seconds to represent your constant seconds. Now, the watch also features a column wheel, which makes for nice crisp action. Underneath the case back, we have a manufacturer caliber. They do it no other way at Seiko. The 8R48 automatic winding, 45-hour power reserve, stop seconds, quick set date, vertical clutch, column wheel actuation on 34 pivot jewels. And though this watch is affordable, it is also serviceable. This is a watch you can buy and wear and enjoy for life. Reach out if you love this watch to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.